all I need to do is to go to the help menu and press the create support message menu item. Once you press that, the program is started, our SAP add-on is triggered, and it asks for confirmation to take a screenshot. I will allow this because this is not some sensitive HR or finance data. And now the main screen of the ITSM connector appears, where I can enter a subject, and I can enter a long description, which will be pretty short. And here, the bottom of the screen is really interesting, because here you have ServiceNow specific fields. In fact, these are the fields which are related to your connected platform. So if you connect to Jira, you will have Jira fields and so on. And the second important thing is that you can customize this. This is just a default template that we set up for this demo, where you have the urgency and the assignment group. But almost all our clients want to customize it, add some extra drop downs, extra radio buttons, checkboxes, whatever custom fields you might have in ServiceNow. And naturally, that's absolutely possible with a few days of customization. And the last important thing is that the assignment group is automatically set to SAP Finance. And that's not an accident or by chance. You can set up rules in SAP that, based on the current transaction code or module or Fiori app ID or whatever criteria, you can route the tickets to the relevant support group in ServiceNow automatically. So when I'm ready and I press send, the SAP add-on product creates the incident in ServiceNow, generates some attachments, and uploads everything to that. And after that, you get a success message with a ticket number. You can also open it with a click, and then the self-service portal is opened with the ticket details. If your SAP users have access to the self-service portal, then they can immediately see the ticket that was just created. Now let's log in with Service Desk user to check out all the details of the incident. So this one is the one that I just created. The first big benefit here is the automatic routing and categorization. So in this demo landscape, we've set up the category to be software, subcategories SAP, the business services populated automatically. The configuration item is the SAP system that is affected. Here we have all the user input. The open, buy, and caller fields are set based on the SAP end user. You can have a new channel. Previously, that was contact type. I believe it's now sent from SAP. So you can see that this was directly sent from the system, and the incident is not created based on a phone call. Here we have all the master data, and also the assignment group is set to SAP Finance. As I explained, you can either define rules for routing and categorization on the SAP side, but it's also possible to do that on the ServiceNow side, if that's what you prefer. Because as I will show you later, all the SAP details are saved to ServiceNow, so you can do that. So you can use that data for your routing and categorization as well. The second big benefit is here at the top. You can see that there are different attachments. Obviously, we have the screenshot here that we allow the program to take, and we started the process. We have an authorization report, which is an output of transaction SU53. I will show you that in detail in the next one of the next use cases. Here we have an Excel sheet which contains the screen contents. In this column, you can find all the details that were displayed on the screen, and the program automatically gathers all the technical details as well. So, for example, if this incident ends up at a developer, then they'll know that in this program, this screen, this field, which was the posting date, had the value of today's date. The company code was 1710. Currency was US dollars. Here you also have the description for fields which have some description, like the document type. The code is SA, but it's a GL account document. So everything is captured all the technical details are added and everything is attached to the incident automatically. So you have the business context of the problem. Finally, you have a PDF file with a lot of extra information. How can I? Yeah, like this. Okay. So this PDF has a header with the affected user and system details, all the user input. And now comes the interesting part, because here you have all the details of the currently running program: title, transaction code, program name, screen number, subscreen number, application component, package, and so on. Here we have the details of the last message. This was the message class number type. You can even navigate directly to the source code position where this message was sent, because you can see include the source code line number, and you have the long description from the SAP help as well. We have a section about the SAP client. So the GUI, this was a GUI for Windows with this specific version, this laptop, and so on. We have all the details of the backend user, everything that you need in Get in Touch, the salutation, language key, time zone, and so on. All the details of the system are added here, as well as the list of installed components with the version information. So the idea is to provide a complete information package with every single incident that is submitted through our tool. There are almost 20 different kind of attachments that can be attached depending on the problem type. So, for example, if a job fails and you create an incident out of that, you get the job log attached and the spool output. And if there was a short dump related to that job failure, you get that as well. If you create a ticket out of Fiori app, you get Fiori related technical details, and so on. So these are the most frequently attached files: the PDF, the screen contents, the authorization report, and the screenshot, but there are much more. Okay, let me show you what happens if you install the ServiceNow app. As I mentioned, that's an optional component, and whatever you've seen so far does not need the ServiceNow app. However, if you do install it, then you will have an extra sheet here called SAP Technical Details. And then if you click here, you will see that all information that was in the PDF and Excel sheet and the other different attachments are saved to ServiceNow tables. So here we have the program details, here we have the last message details, server information, database information, and so on, user details. Here you have the SAP screen fields, the list of components, and so on. The big benefit of this is obviously this is structured data in your database. You can use it. It's not a static PDF. You can use this in your reporting. You can put any of these fields on the incident form in a minute. You can use all this data in your workflows, your business rules, and any custom developments. Let me show you an example of a dashboard, which is actually delivered as part of this ServiceNow app. Here you can see a list of that chart with the number of incidents per system over time. You have the number of incidents in total per SAP system. You have the most frequently displayed error messages, dialog error messages, most problematic transactions, number of tickets per system per UI technology. And here you can see that the product is compatible with CRM Web GUI, with Fiori, Neptune apps, classic SAP GUI, Web GUI, and WebD Pro as well. We have a separate sheet for background jobs, separate sheet for runtime errors, short dumps, and of course, for the second major use case for the monitoring and alerting integration. So this is the dashboard for the incidents that were created out of Solution Manager alerts automatically by our SAP add-on. So here you have the number of tickets per category, per managed object, or per managed object type, and so on. All right, let me jump back to the SAP system and show you a few more examples. There is a transaction code Z dump, and don't be surprised, it's going to run into a runtime error. That was a division by 0. And I want to create a ticket. Naturally, I go to the help menu, press create support message. I allow the program to take a screenshot. And now I can enter subject, runtime error, demo, test 2. This is also going to the finance module. If you can see here that this transaction is assigned to the finance component as well. So this is why this is going to end up there as well. So now I press send, the same thing happens. And in this case, we will see an additional useful attachment. And I'm sure you already know it. It's the output of the runtime error actually converted to an HTML file. So in this case, you get the whole short dump. Even if you ask an end user to send you the short dump, most likely they will send you a screenshot, which contains only the top part, and you cannot copy paste from that. But naturally, as this is an HTML file, you can copy paste from this and you have the full short dump here. So this is really very useful. And also it's important that you can define the language in which all the attachments are generated. Meaning that if you have a user logging in Chinese and they run into a runtime error and they press the button submit a ticket, the short dump will still be attached in English if you set the service desk language to English in a configuration transaction. All right, let me come back here. Let's say I'm the next user who uses this transaction, and I also run into the same problem. I also want to create a ticket. But now you can see that a different pop-up window is displayed. You can configure the product to monitor a certain time period. It is now set to 8 hours, but this can be anything, 24 hours, a week, or anything. And it's displaying you a list of relevant tickets. In case of runtime error, it's pretty simple. Everything is relevant where you have the same kind of a short dump with the same program of the same line. Naturally, that's basically 100% sure that it's the same problem. But of course, if it's not a runtime error, you can have different kind of problems. Let's say in a transaction FB50, you could have multiple different issues. So now the end user has the option to choose if it's really the same problem or not. Here you have the subject and the long description, and based on that, the end user can decide if this is a different problem, and then just needs to press the new ticket button to create a totally independent ticket. But in this case, this is 100% sure that it's the same problem. So I press the link ticket button. I will press yes. The subject, I can enter something like runtime. And I press send. So now in this case, the additional value that our add-on provides is that it will establish a parent-child relationship between the tickets in an automated way. So if I come back here, go to incidents, and check the first runtime error ticket that I created, you will see that if you scroll down, that among the child incidents, you have the second one listed. So there's a parent-child relationship established automatically by our add-on. Even if you have 1,000 tickets coming to the service desk, then you have one parent incident and 991 child incidents. So this provides some transparency to the end users. They will immediately see that the problem is known, someone has already submitted a ticket, and also good for the service desk team. They will see how many people are affected. Maybe based on this, they can change the impact of the incident. And naturally, by closing the parent incident, you can automatically close all the child incidents at once. So that's an extra great great feature. So this is how our add-on can help you to deal with duplicate incidents. Now I will jump to another transaction called Miro. And here I want to enter an incoming invoice. This will take a few clicks, but anyway, you can see that there is a PO with the one piece of a screw for $1. And now I'm going to change this $1 to $5. And then because of this change, I have this message that the price is too high, the tolerance limit is exceeded. So let's imagine I'm an expert user of SAP. I have vast experience with this, and I know that something is misconfigured here, or this should not work like this. Maybe the master data is incorrect. So I want to submit a ticket. I go to the help menu, press create support message. I allow the program to take a screenshot. And now when the main screen appears, you will see that there is an additional section at the bottom part of the screen. So this is how we can embed a search in the knowledge base into SAP. When you open the ticket window for the first time from this transaction, then the transaction code is used as a full text search criteria in the ServiceNow knowledge base. That's why you can see Miro in all these descriptions. But if you enter something like tolerance limit, which was my error message, and you hit enter, the new search is performed with the transaction code and the subject. And now I have exactly one knowledge base article listed here. If I double click on that, I'm taken to the knowledge base article in the browser window where I can verify that this is the same issue. This is the problem that I have. And now I have the solution. So when I jump back to SAP, I do not create a ticket. I just press cancel and solve the problem myself. So this is really a nice feature to reduce the number of incidents that are going to your service desk and also improve the return on investment on your ServiceNow knowledge base. In order to show you the next feature, I will log into the system with a different user. And here I execute transaction VA05. This is the list of sales orders. I want to get the list of documents for this sales organization. I want to see only the open sales orders, and then I press execute. Now I get an error message that there are no documents found. Let's say that I know that there must be some documents. Maybe the colleague sitting next to me can see the documents, so I'm sure something is not right. I will create a ticket. So I press the help menu, create support message, allow the program to take a screenshot. And now I can enter subject. We have an extra field here. I've logged in with the user, which has different authorizations than the previous one. This user is a simple end user. Basically, you can group your users into two different groups, key users and end users. Naturally, this is not mandatory. This is optional, but many customers do this. Simple end users are not allowed to create tickets in ServiceNow. So they have to send the ticket first to a key user. Now I can select a user from this drop-down menu. This is really very flexible. The list of key users can depend on the transaction code, on the module, on the system, or any other criteria. I will choose my user for convenience and enter a comment. Maybe this is really very important for me, and I set this to high. And you can see that the program automatically detected that V805 belongs to the sales and distribution module. So I will press send. Oh, actually, I have a limitation on my authorizations. I cannot create a ticket with a high urgency, so I have to set it to medium. And now when I press send, I can see that this will send to the key user. Okay, so now I can already log off with this one I can come back here. If I press enter, then you can see that express message is sent to me within SAP. This is an optional extra. You can use the SAP Business Workplace as a messaging service, but also you can get the same message in an email. So basically, the end user sends a message, maybe an email, directly to the key user with the same attachments that you saw. So here you have the PDF file, the screenshot, the screen contents. I will show you that because here it's interesting. The program also attaches the selection criteria. Okay, so here you can see that the user executed the report with the sales organization set to 1710, and the open sales orders radio button was selected. So we know how to reproduce the problem. And here we have another attachment, which is the result of the standard SU53 authorization check converted to an HTML page. And this is actually the solution attached to the problem. Because here we can see that this end user executed this transaction to perform a display activity on data belonging to sales organization 1710. But in the user master, it only has access to data belonging to sales organization 1000. So this is the reason why there were no documents found. This is not a program error. This is a simple authorization issue. So now what I can do as a key user, I can go to a dedicated transaction, which will list all the tickets that were sent to me by different end users. Here I can have, take a look at the most important data, the user, transaction, module, and so on. And here now I have a choice. I can press this button to reject the ticket. If I found that this is just a user mistake, you press the wrong button, you have to go to an SAP training, and then the ticket is gone. But if this is a real problem, like in this case, I can press this button to send the ticket. Now all the data is taken over from the end user, but naturally I can now add extra information as a key user. I can amend the comments. I can even change, let's say this is not an urgent thing, and this is more like a security problem. So I change the assignment group and press send. So now the add-on creates the ticket with the updated information, and of course with the same attachments that were generated when the end user started the process. I will come here and refresh this list. And now you can see that the key difference is that the open by field is filled with the key user and the caller is the affected end user. Naturally, you have now the assignment group set to SAP security because I, as a key user, identified that this is definitely an authorization issue. All right, this is also a great way to reduce the number of tickets coming to ServiceNow, because very often key users will be able to solve the problem without creating a ticket or telling the end user how to use SAP and not create a ticket for something that works perfectly fine. And I think this was the last feature that I wanted to demonstrate in classic SAP GUI. So now I will open a new browser window and go to Fiori application. I will choose payments and revise payment proposals. I already can see that there's an error here. And of course, that's something that I want to demonstrate. So I'm greeted with a nice error message. So I want to create a ticket. All I need to do is to press this button here in the top right to create a ticket. Now you will see a very similar screen. I can enter subject like Fiori does not work. The urgency and the assignment group is pre-populated with default values. And you can see that there's a knowledge base articles button here. In a similar way, just like with the SAP GUI, the program performs a search in the knowledge base. And if it finds anything, then it can list the related articles and open it in the browser window. It's really the same thing in Fiori. And if you have related tickets, then this button will be enabled and you can link tickets together. You can also take screenshots, and this button explains you how you can do that. You can simply put the image on the clipboard and paste. So I press the save button, press print screen, come back and press paste. So now I have a screenshot. Of course, you can repeat this as many times as you want. You press save, go to maybe another tab sheet or scroll down, take another screenshot and so on. And once you're ready, test from Fiori, you press send, and then the same thing happens. The add-on backend component creates the incident, uploads all the different attachments, and you get a success message once it's ready. In this case, we have different extra attachments besides the screenshot and the PDF file, the authorization report. Maybe I can show you the PDF file. Let me first go to this view so we can see everything about the incident created from Fiori. Again, routing and categorization is done. You can also set up a rule to route the ticket to that dedicated Fiori team if you do have that one, maybe. So let's go to the attachments. Here we have the PDF file. In this case, the interesting part is this one. Let me zoom in, because now we capture Fiori specific details like the form factor, if it was mobile, tablet, desktop, the app type, app URL, app ID, version numbers, URLs, browser type, everything that is relevant for debugging the Fiori app. Naturally, this is also saved to ServiceNow tables, not only to this PDF file. Then we have the console entries from the browser. This is very technical, but very useful for the developers. We have an error log as well, which contains more technical details like different error messages and the user browser history. And we do have an extra Excel sheet that I want to spend a little time on. So if you open that, then you will find an Excel sheet that contains multiple, it's an Excel workbook containing multiple sheets. You have generic app information on the first one. Then you have front-end server related entries. And here you can see that there were OData related errors. It's pretty clear that the user does not have authorization to specific services. So this is most likely the source of the problem. Here we have additional details on authorizations. Again, this is the output of SU53 converted to an Excel sheet. Then we have gateway related issues. Again, this shows you that there are authorization problems. I'm sorry about it, since I'm sharing the screen, somehow Excel doesn't refresh correctly. Then you have short dumps in that happened recently to the end user. So this Excel sheet is always attached. Let me come back to the Fiori screen, because this Excel sheet is actually a standard feature of SAP. The app support menu item is available if you're on a specific app. If you are on a launchpad, then this is not available. But if you press this menu item, you get the same data as a UI5 app. And this is standard SAP, part of S/4HANA on-premise. You have to set it up, but it's pretty easy to set up. And you have the same information that you've seen in the Excel sheet, generic app information, front-end server details, like there are some checks which show that everything is fine with the ICF node, with the RFC connection, and so on. And here you have the errors that are already shown in the Excel sheet. You have the authorization errors, gateway errors, and runtime errors. And if you press the download logs button, don't be surprised, you get the same Excel sheet. So our product can actually capture all the data that is provided by this app support feature of SAP and attach that to every incident that is created from Fiori using our add-on. All right, let me quickly come back here, press the button, and now you can see that the related tickets button is active now because it has found the ticket that I just created. So I can link the two tickets together just like with the SAP GUI. I don't want to go into details on that. You can imagine how it works because time is ticking away. And let's check what is the next one. I will go back to the slides and briefly talk about the monitoring and alerting use case. It's pretty straightforward. So if you have a solution manager configure, or well, it works with Focus Run as well. It's a special kind of solution manager. If the system is set up to monitor your SAP systems, iDocs, connections, interfaces, user experience, a lot of different things can be monitored by solution manager. If you have an alert created, then our add-on can create an incident in ServiceNow in an automated way. Again, you have the same features, automatic routing, categorization, and as the incident progresses, the ServiceNow app can close the corresponding solution manager alert. Naturally, it can be canceled earlier, and that will also confirm it, and the other way around. So if the alert is confirmed in solution manager, then the incident will get resolved. I'm not sure how much, we don't have too much time. I will definitely show you how this looks, but maybe we'll not go through all the features. Let me choose this one. So this is the alert inbox of Solution Manager. And here you can see that there are a lot of different alerts for many of our SAP systems and databases and so on. And if you select one, then you get details on the alert down below. And let me jump back here to the incidents. You can see that there are a lot of tickets created in an automated way. So here we actually have a column called ITIL connector source. So these were created by me as an end user for the demonstration, but we have some incidents created out of alerts as well. So let's check this one, for example, bad system response time. Again, here we have a option to map all the alert attributes to ServiceNow incident field values like the impact, the urgency, everything is categorized. Again, the configuration item is populated with the affected system. Now this is assigned automatically to the SAP basis team. It's sent from SAP and so on. Here you have all the SAP technical details. But the really interesting attachment is this one. This is an HTML file generated by Solution Manager. So if you configure Solution Manager to send you an email notification when an alert happens, this is the attachment that the Solution Manager will attach to the email. So we can also capture this one, and this really provides a lot of information with all the different metrics that are the basis for the alert. You can jump into the system, execute some transactions, jump directly to the alert, and so on. So it's really, really convenient. It's pretty simple to set this up because you just go to application operations, system monitoring, or whatever kind of monitoring. We set up system monitoring for this demo. Go to 2.3 default settings, third-party components, and here you can see that the STA ITSM connector for SAP is the active third-party connector. And if you just set this up, everything will be handled automatically. You can refine this. You can map, like, let's say, the alert rating, alert category, alert different attributes of the alert to the service now fields like impact, urgency, and so on. But that's optional. But most customers do it anyway.